guys, welcome back. Today we're working on the 350Z again. If you own a 350Z, you've gotten these boxes in the mail a couple of times. I'm about guarantee you. This is the all too familiar window motor. Yeah, they got junk window motors in them. This one here is the door handle. That's the passenger side. I got the driver's side too. And you got to change them out because, well, they're junk. Even the replacements are junk. They came from the factory, junk, and nobody's taken the time to remanufacture and make them good. So they break a lot. You can't get in the car from outside. Problem with this particular car is both door handles are broken. So there's no way to get into it once you close the roof and close the doors. You're locked out of it. So today we're gonna go ahead and do that. Something else drives me nuts about this car is when you turn off the car, close the door, the driver's door always puts the glass down. Why? I'm driving around, I'm running a bunch of errands, I got the roof down, I got the windows down. Why must you put the door up, the window up, every time I jump out of the car? Why? I get in, I gotta put it back down. Why do you keep putting it up? I don't know. So there are multiple wires that come into this thing. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 wires coming into this connector here. What I'm gonna try to do is when I've got this door apart, I'm gonna try to figure out if there's one of these particular connectors that has power when the key's off. Because when the key is off, the window, it won't do anything. But if I close the door right now, the window goes up, I think. Let me see, I've been messing with it already. See what I'm saying? Nissan, what the heck were you thinking? That's the dumbest thing. The only thing that I'm concerned about, and see, look, it won't go down now until you put the key in. It needs the power from the key on circuit to go down. So I'm wondering if there's a power for putting it up when the key's in the ignition, which is great. I want it to be able to do that, but then I wonder if there's another separate power that gives it power when there's no power from the ignition so that it can put itself up. And if it is, I'm just going to snip that wire and we're going to delete that one and just get rid of it. The only other thing I'm concerned about is when you close the door, when you open the door, it pops down a little bit. I forget what they call that. Pops down just a little bit so it clears the rubber seals of the convertible top a little bit better. Stays down that ½ inch till you close it, it pops back up again. And it'll do that without the key at the ignition. So I want to make sure that that's not the same power that powers that particular function of the window. All right, first things first, in behind here, you pull the door handle forward and there is a screw back in here. Huh. Oh, it appears to be missing. I don't see it back there. I'm going to get a flashlight. Very carefully, you want to pry up on this plastic piece here. This guy pops out like this. Inside of here, you got one screw back here. That's Phillips. That almost seems like it's a little bit stripped out. Now, that one surprised me. Got a bunch of plastic pieces on a car. They should know that when they put bad door handles and bad window motors in these things, you have to take this thing apart a few times in its lifetime. And this isn't an old, yeah, it's an older car, but it's only got 75,000 miles on it. It doesn't have a ton of miles on it. It's on its second roof because the roof tear is on it as well. Few common things that are wrong with these Nissans. They're a lot of fun to drive. They're a great car, very reliable. Hang on a second, I think that's a 10mm. Let me grab that wrench. I have to look and see if there's a clip in the back there that I can change so that other screw threads in better. There's some plastic clips in there that undo, and boom, off she comes. So here's the window motor. So we're going to get into this a little bit here and figure out where the power is coming from. That's to the motor. Can I get this to drop down here so you can see? This is to the motor. That's the clip on the end of the motor. That's what comes from the car, the power in. So we're going to play with that a little bit and yeah, I can trick the car into thinking with a switch back there that the door is closed. So we can do this with the door open. Nothing. I'm starting to question my choice of ground. Nothing. Nothing. Find a better ground. All right, so the two terminals on top here, this blue one and this green one. The green one gets power when the key's on and you go window down. All right, the blue one gets power when the key's on and you go window up. So the question is, well, let's put the window down. Okay, so the window's now down. The car's got a little bit of a miss in it. Have to look into that next. But you turn the car off, pull the key out because nobody wants to listen to the annoying beep. The car knows the window is down, and now when I close the button to say the door is closed, it's going to try to tell the car, hey, 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 we got movement in the, we got power. Oh. So that's the little trigger it gets. When the door button's pushed, the green gets a little trigger of power, but it's just momentary. Boop, boop. That's got to be for the indexing, window down, window up. So the real question is, where is the window motor getting its juice from when the window goes back up? So that's power up. Now let's turn the key off. Okay, take the key out, and then we close the door over here. Not where it's getting its power from to put the window back up. Not. I'm starting to understand why there's no videos about it online. Nobody else can figure it out either. All right. So far, that's making no sense. This thing is getting its power from someplace. When I turn the car off and hit the door close button, it is definitely getting power because the window goes up, and it doesn't do that on its own. So I can't see that power is being run back to it through here, which makes no sense. The power comes from someplace. This over here, I believe, would be the power mirrors. This, I believe, over here would be the little tiny itty-bitty tweeter. This connector down here, well, it looks like it's stereo because it's got the tweeter wires going into it and then the speaker wires going into it. So this connector is for the stereo. This connector is for the mirrors. So it's all these guys coming in here. One of these wires is live. I'm going to go for the secondary, the smaller red one. I'm going to guess him to be my, you know what, I can get to those much quicker. Let's try this again. One more time. That was interesting. It tried to go up and then it stopped. I think it knows I'm onto him. Is that wire right there? Interesting. Okay, so it looks like it's getting wire through this little black wire here, which on the other side is the green wire. So my question is, if we cut the black wire, we already know it's getting, it's indexing through a different lead. If I cut that black wire, will this indeed still work? Now I don't have something to unpin this with. Maybe I can use a paper clip. I've seen guys do it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, let's see. That joins into this green wire. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to cut the green wire back here. And then if I need to, I can splice him back in if for some reason the rest of the window doesn't work. So the green wire, clip. Keys, this is ignition. Car is running. Window down, window up. Okay. Turn the, oh, let's put the window down. Oh, what happens if we close the door? Close the door, push the button, close the door, the window doesn't go back up. But will it step it down for the convertible top? Window up. Open the door, it steps down. Close the door. Every time you open the door, it goes down a little bit. Now that's what they were talking about in the other video. They said every time they close the door, it goes down a little bit, down a little bit, down a little bit, and then that's what they're saying. You gotta, put the window up. Okay, and then so you have to reset that by putting the window down and holding the window down. And then they said if you lift up on it, it'll reset itself. Now the window down won't function. There it goes, okay. Okay, so that's what the other videos were about. They said if the window steps a little bit every time, you have to put the window all the way up and then hold the button up for, I think it's 5 seconds, and you hear the window, it goes click, and then you got to put it down, and when it goes all the way down, keep holding the button for another 5 seconds, you hit click again. So the window is like recalibrated. It now understands where it is when it's up, where it is when it's down. So if we put it all the way up, we close the door by pushing the button. She's not stepping on me, but she does step down. So that little wire, its job then is to say you step down for the convertible hut. Next time you step up, is to step down, step down, step down, step down. So it looks like we can't disconnect that wire. It looks like it's probably computer controlled at a different module. It's not as simple as just giving it power here at the door when it needs it. I don't know if that could be, if they could flash the computer and fix that, take that feature out, but it looks like, well, it looks like we're kind of stuck with that feature for now. All right, so we got a lot of 10 millimeters all the way around here. They've all got to come out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those. And then there's, I think a couple of things that control the windows have to come out. There's a little thing here. Let's see. You know what, last time I took this apart, I was changing the window motor out at the same time, so I had to take all that off. I wonder if I can just get in here. Torques bit takes off the this little plate, which is what kind of lines the door up. Probably helps in case of a collision, keeps it where it's supposed to be. There's one hidden behind the weather strip in there. Take those guys off of there like that. And then behind, you'll see two 10 millimeters. Carefully take that out. We don't want to drop that inside the bottom of the door. This one especially. All right, we're going to put a magnet on the end of the grabber, and we're going to reach in there and try to grab the screw. Ta-da. And then the handle does come off of here. This doesn't actually look broken. I wonder if it just came disconnected. So let's do this. Let's put the key in, put the window up so it's out of the way when we open the door. Alright. You're gonna fight me on that. Reconnect that wire that we disconnected. Alright, so this green wire here is the one we disconnected. Let's put him back together. Alright, next thing we gotta do. All these guys gotta come off. If I remember correctly, this guy here and this guy down here, let me push it back a little bit there. This guy here and this guy here is what controls and holds the window glass regulator in place. These three here hold the motor for the window to the door frame. So it's this one and this one, I think this third one down here, that need to come off to allow the this to come forward, and I just can't remember what it does to the window when you take these off. We're gonna find out together here. Oh yeah, and they're a little bigger size too. So now we take that off of here. It does allow us access to the inside of the window, but we got to remember where the glass goes. So we've got this one cable off of here. Let's see if we can carefully disconnect the other cable. We can. All right, so this side we got the door handle hanging down. This side's got a locking mechanism in it. That's the driver's side only. And then it's got an extra 10 millimeter bolt here. That holds on the little doop that unlocks it. The thing triggers it. So let's take the 10 mil. This comes off, and it's important to note, it looks like there's a bolt missing here. There's only one on it. That's the bolt that went through the door to hold it on. And I made that mistake my first time taking this apart. I had put that bolt in the wrong hole. So that bolt goes on the outside of the door. Okay, so I got the new one here. This rod here has to be transferred from the old one to the new one. But it looks like the only difference here actually is this pin right here and this pin. It looks like the little cotter ring came off the bottom of that pin. See how it came up through the handle? So it looks like that little ring came off here, and that allowed this to get up and when it came up, when you pulled on the door, it wasn't using that as a pivot point anymore. So it looks like really nothing actually broke. It just, the little ring came off, and now it works funny. Here's where the key goes in. So it goes in like this, and the bolt goes in on this side, which is this side where your hand goes in. And we feed this back in here like this. Now, there's a little rod down in here. It comes up and goes in that little pink thing. Then the other rod connects inside. There's a little seat for it to go into. I think what might make this easier is if I took this back off of here, connected the little push rod to the pink thing, and then did the bolt, because the bolt's closer to me and easier to get to. And that gives me a lot more wiggle room in here with my hands. There we go. Okay. So I don't know, can you see that down in here? So what I did is I took that little rod that comes up from the bottom, and I put it around that pink thing, and then now that's together. I can put this together, and then this guy here sits down inside there. There's a little blue pocket. I think that's actually in where it's supposed to go. I know it's hard for you guys to see. Apologize for the camera angle, but now you can reach in here and get that one little bolt snugged after. Unless you can still get, well, I might, you know what? I might be able to reach through the hole and snug that one at the same time. Okay, so for what I can tell, I got the 10mm bolt in the top, right? You got the two 10mm in the bottom that hold the lock set and the handle in. I got those in, right? You can actually scooch over and retighten. So put in that one that's to the outside, put it in just finger tight, and you can get a screwdriver over and still reach both of those on an angle and straight and get those two tightened up, okay? Now you got your handle that's working. I can reach down, feel the mechanism inside the door, and I can feel that it's reacting to me pulling on the handle, so I know that I got that part working. Now I got these two cables here, and these two cables have little crimped ends on them, and they go back inside the door handle part of it, and that operates the lock and the door release function. So we're gonna get that hooked back up again. We're gonna see if we can kind of test it, make sure we're happy with the way it's functioning. And as long as we are, then well, we're just gonna go ahead and put this door back together. We got the window working right again and everything else. What we gotta do now is this panel here has to come back up around here and go on. And the tricky thing to it is getting these bolts that hold the window to come out through the hole here and then get a nut on it real quick and getting it to tighten down. It is a little tricky. I've done it a few times because thank you Nissan for using junk door handles and window motors. Yeah, that's something you're gonna have to do with your Nissan if this is the car of your choice. Don't get me wrong, I love this little car. It's just some maintenance you gotta do, that's all. You know, every car's got its little thing where you gotta do its thing, so this is the thing you gotta do with this thing. Huh. I think Kamala Harris wrote that. He's a tricky one to get on there. I'll be honest with you. I think he's the hardest one. And that kind of lifts and settles a little bit. There's a spacer behind him. There we go. And you feel it when you get it. But you can see I'm moving the whole window around. Not really putting anything in tight because you're going to have to wiggle it around to get everything to work eventually. Oh, I got my, oh. All right, there's a problem. I did that last time. You should know better, James. You should know better. This little nut here has to go on the back of this arm here. I don't know if there's a good way to hold that arm out. I'm actually wondering if the glass down helps my situation. The thing is, the glass comes down, it puts a little pressure and rolls the glass out this way. Just try very carefully here. I mean very carefully, because it's not really attached to anything. Yeah, there we go. That needs to push out this way for sure. So I'm learning stuff as we go here. These screws here, they have slots in them on the end of them, these bolts. And I started thinking, you know what, there's only one reason you have a slot in the end of the bolt, so you can turn it. Why would you be able to turn it? Because it's an adjustment. So by tightening it in, by turning it one way, you can push the bottom of the glass in, or you can pull the bottom of the glass out. So you can adjust the angle of the glass coming up in the door as compared to the door itself, this panel here. So I messed with those a little bit, and now I've got my glass in there, and window down, window up. Hooking this back up, we got two cables. The top cable goes to the top. Makes sense, right? Oh, hang on. That appears to be broken. See that? That little fitting looks like that was once upon a time a one piece. Like this one is. See, that's one piece? Haha. Probably might go a little bit deeper here. Alright, so I just took those cables and put a little binding wire around them. We've got this one here, that's the threaded one. That wasn't really threading in very well, because, well, in and out too many times. And the problem is, all the little tabs around here, all the little plastic doodads, they're worn off. Because the door wasn't meant to come apart this many times. This one's completely broken off. So I'm gonna need about 4 of these.